This episode of London Real is sponsored by X-Brain. If you live in Europe or the UK, get all of your favorite Onnit products like Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech Sport, even the Bulletproof Coffee from X-Brain. You get it in a matter of days, no foreign exchange, no customs, no problem. Go to xbrain.co.uk and check it out.
One of the things that I first heard about when I first heard the concept of the singularity, I think was coming from you. Like a couple of years ago, after I saw you on Rogan, I saw your videos, and I was just wondering, for people that don't know, which are a lot of people out there, if you could define the singularity, and then define, you're kind of a rare guy, is that then you are just shipping in the singularity. You're like, let's do this now, and this is going to make us better. Where there are a lot of fearmongers out there, and a lot of critics are like, Jason doesn't talk about the risks. So
well, look, man, I think that anything we do with technology ultimately acts like a sort of kind of scaffolding or a second skin. So technology is this extended phenotype, like the termite colony is to the termite, and it extends our thoughts, it extends our reach, it extends our vision. You know, there's cognitive philosophers that actually make the case that technology is actually a part of the species, like literally. It's organic. It's like the spider's web is a part of the spider. Nobody would say that the spider's web is this like weird technology that the spider's doing, tinkering with nature. No, it's birthed from the spider, just like our creativity and our instruments are birthed from us. And then it's like we create these tools to then extend the boundaries of how we express ourselves. Like we were talking about oil painting and instruments and alphabets before. People talk about the singularity as being the ultimate convergence of biotechnology and nanotechnology, in the same way that we saw kind of singularity when language was born, and the singularity of information technology with sort of the internet and connecting human beings together and transcending time, space, and distance. But like with biotech, we're literally having, gene sequencing is going 3 times faster than Moore's law, and with biotech, we're learning to master the information processes of biology. And biology is basically software that writes its own hardware, something that computers could never do. So when our genes become sort of blank canvas for the artist, when our genes become this thing that we can kind of that can birth a new generation of artists that can write genomes the way Blake and Byron wrote verses, as Freeman Dyson used to say, what does that even mean? You know, when I can take like the raw material that constitutes what each of you are, and that becomes the literally like the blank piece of paper for us to sort of author, like we become gods. You know, Kevin Kelly says we are aspiring gods, we are amateur gods, and I think he totally gets it. You know, it's not about being heretical by using these terms, but it's saying this is what's actually going on. Carl Sagan says we are the frontal lobes of the universe. So we are the universe, being aware of the universe, just like the brain can perceive itself. Well, on a sort of macro level, we are the universe perceiving itself. And these moments of sort of mental expansion, and then seeing the fact that, you know, with our biotechnology, we're manipulating biology. With nanotechnology, we manipulate matter at the level of the atom. The whole freaking thing becomes a creative universe that wakes up, a creative universe that comes alive. And so the singularity is just ultimately a kind of metaphor used to describe the ineffable and indescribable nature of a universe, a creative universe, accelerating in its capacity to be creative. Terence McKenna said the universe is a novelty engendering universe. It's a universe that sprouts complexity, sprouts new possibility. Kelly says technology is the 7th kingdom of life, subject to the same evolutionary forces. You know, Pierre de Chardin, the Jesuit priest, talks about the omega point, this complexity leading us towards this kind of rapturous transcendence of all previous limits. Eric Davis, who wrote in Technosis, she said that eventually the human design process will achieve a kind of infinite velocity where everything becomes linked with everything else and matter becomes mind. Because that's really what's going on. We take in matter of low organization, we put it through our mental filters, and we extrude it as space shuttles and iPhones. So when you look at the stuff, you see that the rhymes of McKenna and Timothy Leary saying that computers are the new LSD, that technology is how we actually expand the boundaries of the mind. So you see, you're like, wow, like Kurzweil's singularity is the same as Pierre de Chardin, the Jesuit priest who was tripping out talking about the omega point, which is the same as Timothy Leary talking about us going from worms into butterflies and, transforming ourselves. And it's the same as McKenna talking about a universe that engenders more and more novelty, and is the same as Kevin Kelly's technium. So you see the academics and the writers and the scientists and the sort of psychonauts all saying ultimately the same thing, you know, and as Isaiah Berlin said, to understand is to perceive patterns. So you start to see the patterns, and it's just again, it's humanity, it's certain minds just noticing the same thread, the same common denominator, which is kind of this move towards that something. You know, it's like staring into the sun. It's hard to describe, but I think we're going in that direction.